When people look at me in a chair, most of the time, they have no idea what I'm capable of. They come with all these assumptions and these preconceived notions on what I can and can't do. So I think more and more people think of a veteran and they think of someone that's broken. Well, some of us may be physically broken, but I promise you we're not broken.
When I was working as a physical therapist at Craig Hospital, which is a spinal cord traumatic brain injury center in Inglewood, Colorado, started thinking it would be fun to take some of my patients in the water and get them on scuba. Really hadn't been done before, and what we discovered right away is how liberating diving was and how it enabled them to become more independent. The benefits to the people with disabilities in diving is the lack of gravity. It's put them in an environment that allows their muscles that may not work or work as well as they do on dry land to possibly function. It's allowed them to get from point A to point B without the use of a wheelchair or prosthetic device or on someone to get them there. And I think there's the psyche. The benefit of the psyche is what is huge. So along comes Brett Seymour. Brett Seymour with the National Park Service, and Brett had this epiphany of utilizing these veterans with disabilities who now have training to work, to do something, to have a mission. Now we fast forward to this amazing opportunity to be able to take a select couple of veterans with disabilities and bring them to Hawaii to do a mission on the USS Arizona.
And the next phone call I got was from the Pacific Historic Parks. And she said, we love what you guys are doing. We're all behind you and we want to fund this trip. You don't get those phone calls every day. So we had 2 veterans out here. We had David Ortiz, a helicopter pilot, suffered paraplegia in a helicopter crash. We had Jeff Picard that sustained a sniper round that traveled through his arm.
After I was shot, my left arm didn't work for 2.5 years. I couldn't move it or nothing. One day in physical therapy, my fingertip moved. After that, everything just started slowly coming back, and for 2.5 years of therapy, I got 70% of my hand use back and 50% of the strength back.
Trying to get the ones that are already attached. 2, 3, 4, 5. Trying to get 5 grommets total.
So this project was to measure oil flow rates that are coming out of the USS Arizona. There could be still up to 500,000 gallons of oil in that ship, and it is seeping out. And from day one, it's been very serious, very task-oriented.
All of the discussion between the veterans and their purpose, and all of a sudden they went from these sort of low-key guys who were talking about what are we going to do? Where's your position going to be? Where's my position going to be? How are we going to use this particular device, measuring device? And so there was a true intent, desire to succeed with this mission.
And then once we get that set, we get everything taped up where we think we want it, and then I'm gonna come back and grab the camera and shoot. And you three will kind of work it.
We were deploying tarps and tents to capture that oil and try to determine how much of it is coming out, to try to determine possibly how much is still left on the ship when it first went down in 1941.
Right outside the Admiral's cabin, you can see a pipe that comes out and then turns 90 degrees, yeah, just above the gunnel line. So that was the chimney.
I think maybe there was an idea of me doing some of the lighter stuff or lightly being involved. But I believe that once we started working together, I think that led us into doing more and more task-heavy work down underneath the water.
He came here to do something. He didn't come here to jump in the water and scuba dive on the USS Arizona. Well, yes, he did, but that's not why he came here. David truly came here to make a difference, to open up a door, a mindset. And I think that's what's happened.
Okay, all right.
So we entered the water with mission involved. We were educated. We were shown how to touch, how to sense, how to look at things differently.
And you guys said, hey, we're gonna take measurements. I was like, I get to do something. I was excited because I love being tasked. It wasn't just diving the Arizona. I worked on the Arizona. And I've seen veterans that come in and they're waiting for that instruction to be told what to do because that was our life. Mentally, I have PTSD, but when I'm scuba diving, I don't care. My mind calms down, everything slows down, but you're doing something. That's what helps me cope with my PTSD.
I remember there was one point I was holding a sample jar for Scott, and I ended up going all the way upside down, but I kept that jar right side up because I was not gonna mess up that sample.
We did scientific collection stuff. We were busy. I didn't know it was gonna be this messy.
When you see the oil underwater, it's almost beautiful in a way because it's a perfect sphere and it's a jet black. And it almost seems suspended for a second. And then it seems attracted to whatever's closest to it, which happened to be my hands and face.
It's not pretty.
Okay, close your mouth.
And the first thing that hits you after that is the smell. And that instantly makes you think of the individuals that survived that day. I was thinking to myself, man, I'm not surrounded by fire like they were. And, just that was the most sobering day for me. And I think part of the reason why is because one of the first things that I remembered, it took me back, was the smell of engine oil and transmission fluid after my crash. And it makes you empathize in a way. And I mean, I don't think you can respect anybody's service more than these individuals, but it connects you in a way with them.
Coming here for the first time and being here and being able to experience the history and finding my great uncle's names on the wall, it's just overwhelming.
I'm connecting with an important part of military history, but I'm also connecting with an important part of my own military history and connecting with the service members that I served with that are stationed here now. And I can't tell you, every one of them just saying, and we see the great things that you're still doing. And we knew you would. So to hear something like that, I think it gives you a sense of motivation that, all right, you're doing something right.
A machine at rest is very hard to start, but once it starts to roll and get that momentum, things become possibly a little bit easier.
We always have the best adventures.
We did. This is fun, huh?
The biggest value of our partnership with the national parks is that it is task-oriented. It gives somebody something to do while they're diving. And veterans can now join the national parks as volunteers. I believe you guys call it VIPs.
Steve's over there with the tarp.
In order for partnerships like this to exist, you have to have organizations like Pacific Historic Parks. It could not have happened without their funding. So I am beyond grateful for them, and I know I speak for Waves and everybody else and the veterans.
Finding the Waves project and then being able to work with the National Park Service to feel purpose again. That's why I keep coming back. That's why I always bother Steve, and I love seeing you guys and being able to do things that, to me, help me out more than anything else. That's why I appreciate you guys.